The climb to the tippy top of the college football mountaintop has been difficult for Penn State. When ranked as a top 5 team, the Nittany Lions have lost their last 3 road games, all by 5 points or less. But things are different for this pride of Lions.
Touchdown, Penn State!
Their defense, relentless. 8th fewest points per game allowed. 4th fewest yards per game allowed. And they lead FBS in sacks and pressures. This week, Penn State visits USC. The Trojans are coming off an upset loss to unranked Minnesota. USC has won the last 3 games against Penn State, scoring an average of 40 points per. Will the Nittany Lions play like an apex predator, or will the Trojans make them look like pretenders? Penn State, USC on CBS.
Whew, I don't know about you guys, but that one got me fired up. Let's welcome in Tyler Donahue from Lions 24/7 and Ryan Abraham from USCFootball.com here to break down this big-time matchup. And speaking of big-time, I'm really excited about these quarterbacks. I know they're not technically facing off against each other, but we've got 2 great quarterbacks under center for these teams. So how are they maybe entering this game? Tell us about a little bit what they're carrying into this game based on the past performances. And Tyler, let's start with Drew Aller.
Yeah, I know nationally, a lot of people probably remember what Drew Aller looked like as a sophomore, first-year starter last year in the biggest stages of the year against Ohio State and Michigan. Rough days for the offense, rough days for the young QB. The second of those losses led to the firing of quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator Mike Yurcich. But the marriage here in 2024 between Aller and Andy Kotelnicki, the new offensive coordinator who was named 24/7 Sports OC of the Year last year for his work at Kansas, it's worked really well. His average depth of target is up significantly. He's also someone who's really distributing the football with a lot more frequency. Last year, only one Penn State wide receiver had a 100-yard game in 13 contests. Through 5 matchups now, 3 different receivers have a 100-yard game, and that's not including Tyler Warren, who's playing like one of the best tight ends in the country. He also has a 100-yard game under his belt. I think what stands out about Drew Aller is his composure, his confidence, and the demeanor that he wants to take it to a defense. He doesn't want to be reactive. He wants to dictate terms. That's a different demeanor than what we saw from Drew last year. If that carries over on the road like it did in the season opener down in West Virginia, then that's going to do a lot of positive things for this Penn State offense. And it starts with Drew, and I think ultimately he's the guy who's going to set the thermometer for this offense.
And on the other side of the ball, looking at Miller Moss, it's improbable that he would be USC's starting quarterback this year. To see someone stick around for years as a backup and not just transfer somewhere else. He was an Elite 11 quarterback and taking over for a legend like Caleb Williams. A lot of people thought Lincoln Riley would bring in a Dylan Gabriel or someone to come in and take Caleb Williams' spot. But Miller stuck it out. He ends up starting in the Holiday Bowl and setting a record with 6 touchdown passes. His first 2 starts were against ranked teams, and he won them both. So I think he's done a really good job to start his USC career as the starter. He's been under a lot of pressure. I'm sure we'll get to that in a little bit. But he's had to hang in there and really try to get the ball to his wide receivers. But I think he's been a really tough kid. We saw him have a nice spin move and a touchdown run in the Wisconsin game. He's just been put in some tough situations. So it's a little bit different with this USC offense, especially with the defense playing better than they are. But I think Miller Moss has done a pretty nice job coming in. And like I said, just improbable that he would still be around at USC years later after not starting and just kind of waiting it out, waiting his turn, and then taking over.
Yeah, both of these quarterbacks have been with their current programs for a long time. Usually we're seeing all these transfers. We're seeing one a little bit further up north in another Big Ten game with Ohio State and Oregon, but both of these guys signing with their programs and sticking with them. On the other side of the ball, defensively, what's the strategy in slowing down these offenses? Ryan?
Yeah, I think for D'Anton Lynn and this USC defense, they played really well all season. And this is another Big Ten team that's going to come into the Coliseum and try to run the football. And I think they've had a lot of success early on. I know LSU's got a great offensive line similar to Penn State, and they really got shut down when they were trying to run the football. And even against Michigan, I think USC had a lot of success on every down except for the 3 big plays that they gave up. I think the concerning aspect, there's some of the injuries are starting to mount up. Not having an Eric Gentry, I think, hurt USC a little bit. And Minnesota had more success running the ball, more sustained success, maybe not the big breaking plays, but they had more success on first, second, third down and they were able to move the ball pretty well. I think that's a concern when you're going to play a team like Penn State. If, Drew Aller doesn't throw the ball a lot, he's been really effective this year when he has. And like Tyler said, depth of, he's throwing the ball further downfield than we saw him last year. But I think this is a Penn State team that's going to want to run the football, and this USC defense is going to have to be up to the task. They took a little step back against Minnesota. See if they can get it back at home playing Penn State.
When it comes to the Nittany Lions defense, I would say there's a case to be made that they've been progressively improved week by week by week. They had a blip on the radar, a rough first half against Bowling Green. A lot of that was actually attributed to some communication issues, but their pass rush in particular has really started to step up in conference play. And I look at what USC has failed to accomplish this year in protecting a really talented quarterback in Miller Moss. And I just wonder if this is a group that doesn't smell blood in the water as a group of sharks out there in Los Angeles. 27 total pressure surrendered by USC's starting offensive tackles. You flip to the other side of the trenches. Penn State brings Dennis Sutton and Abdul Carter, two of the more respected defensive ends in this conference, guys that are in year 3. Carter has been absolutely relentless. He's really showing that all Big Ten, all American kind of caliber play the last couple of weeks. And Dennis Sutton is a former 5-star who's really come on strong, showing his groove. He had some big time plays against UCLA last Saturday. But I think the big component here and what kind of differentiates this Penn State defensive front from those they've had in the past with great edge rushers is junior defensive tackle Zane Durant. He has been wreaking havoc. He's got 12 total pressures on the season. That's top 5 among interior linemen in the Big Ten. And James Franklin went out of his way earlier this week to say he's not sure if the Nittany Lions have had a disruptive defensive tackle like this in recent memory. So you combine that with a couple edge rushers that people think could end up in the first round of the upcoming NFL draft. And I think without factoring in a very talented secondary and a linebacker group, this is a very exploitable advantage for Penn State in the trenches versus the Trojans.
All right, this is the first time we're getting these two teams meeting in the regular season since the year 2000. So we got antsy. We wanted to see what it looked like. So we simulated this game 20 times on EA College Football 25, and USC won it 12 of those times. So for each team, super quick, let's start with the virtual winners. Ryan, what's the biggest key to winning this real game?
Really protecting Miller Moss. You hear all the pressure talk. Penn State is really good at generating pressure. USC's not good at stopping it. So they need to protect Miller Moss to have a chance in this one.
Yeah, I think it's establishing the ground game on the offense because they can put the game away with that later, but they can also really put USC on its heels early. They're expected to get Nick Singleton back. He's averaging more than 100 yards per game on the ground this season, almost 9 yards per carry. And then Katron Allen has just been Mr. Consistent, a lot of power with him at running back. So this offensive line, they've shown a lot of good things. If that carries out to Los Angeles and they can find balance with Drew Aller in the passing attack, I think they can put up the points necessary against Miller Moss and company to come home with a win.
All eyes on the big guys. Thank you both so much. Keep it locked into Lions 24/7 for all things Penn State and USC football, for everything you need to know about the Trojans.